Hey everybody, it's Anne Lewis, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. Sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. See, a whole story. Was all organised fairly early, and then I started wandering through the house and checking on everything else and lost track of time. So anyway, today I'm going to be giving you a sneak peek. A minute before we get there, let's put you on the desk. A sneak peek of something that's in the new mini catalogue from that comes out in 2 weeks' time. So I've got a little pussycat behind me. I'll just wheel her out of the way. I love the cover of this. Now I can't show you what's inside. Stamping Up says I can't. But before I get too much into this, let me know if you can see and hear me, because then I know that technically everything's going okay. Now, if you would like me to be your demonstrator, and therefore you would get a catalogue free from me, posted to you if you live in Australia. Just send me a message with your details. I'll send you a link, and I can have one winging its way out to you very soon. Now, whilst I can't show you what's in there, I can show you some of our new products whilst I wait for a few people to come on board. Now, I know I only let everybody know a little late tonight, so I'm assuming it'll take a little while for everybody to get to know that I did go live, because as you know, I've been doing a fair bit on. There's been a lot going on, and it's been a struggle to come and get a live done. Now I'm going to show you a quick little sneak peek. Let me know which ones of these you like. Now, I'd also like to welcome those who are on replay. So leave a comment, even if you're on replay, because I do read them all. So this is called the traditional labels, seasonal tags. I love this font. Now there's dies that match this. I'm pretty sure they're dies, not not a punch, but it's only new, so I've only just started playing with it. So sign design, love this. Ornamental Christmas, again, just those beautiful, stunning sentiments. And look at that one. Rightio. So I've got dies to show you, because they've put out some great tags, which are so good, because I know some of you don't even do Christmas cards, but I know you all love tags. You need tags to attach to the presents. So how gorgeous are they? They're called the pattern tag dies. And I know that a few of you will be starting to work on your list. Now, it comes out on the Tuesday, the catalogue. So if you haven't received one, I love these dies here. Well, I love them all, but I particularly like this, and there's stamps that actually coordinate with that. Now, I've got it. That's kind of I didn't want to show you everything, because there's got to be some surprises when you open that catalogue. Now I'll show you what we're doing. Oh, but there is one other thing. I like these. It's just some twine, but it's black and gold. So beige and black. What's it saying? Doesn't say. So black and white baker's twine. Now I would probably call this a little more beigey than white, but I can see. How gorgeous is that? I'll be using a fair bit of that, I think. The designer series paper, which I'm not sharing with you yet, is also amazing. However, tonight, this is my card. Now, I've kept it really simple, but it's the perfect card to learn new skills with, see some new products, and, oh, sorry, just knocked the camera. So I think you'll really like this card. Now, I'm not sure. Well, now you can see that beautiful texture in the back, and it comes from, of course, it's now hard to find, isn't it? Hopefully, I'm going to have some beautiful texture in the back. Here we go. It's from the traditional wreath 3D embossing folder. Now, this is large embossing folder, 3D. So this is, I'm assuming it's 6 inches. It's just over 6 inches by 6 inches. So it will do a square card if you want to put it all on it. However, one of the issues with that is 6 by 6 is hard to post in the mail. But if you're hand delivering, it is perfect. But look at that texture in that background. Now, I decided not to use it as a wreath, but use it as texture for a card. And the idea from this card actually comes from the catalogue. So I hope you're using our catalogues for inspiration as well. Now, you may not recognise it, or you may when you actually get your catalogue. Now, I wanted to show you, sorry, I'll just drop something here. I wanted to show you, because I had a bit of a play with some projects earlier today using the embossing folder. The first one was I embossed some paper, and I used watercolour paper here. And then I just coloured it in with Lost Lagoon and Cloud Cover. Who would have guessed those colours are the same tone? Really surprised me. So this was just a play to see, to come up with some ideas. Then I also did some Secret C, embossed it, and you saw me do this a couple of weeks ago. I then used some pigment ink that I rubbed gently over, and then I used some watercolor pencils. Where are we? And see that color, pop of color there? I had a play with that, because now and you'll see this here, if I just put it there, you won't see it. But because I've used the white pigment ink, I then can get that beautiful pop of colour. So that was just another technique that I had to play with. But, and yes, you'll probably see projects using similar techniques to this in the next couple of weeks. Now, let's get started. So this is the card, and you can see. Now, I know sometimes it's really hard to see that wink of Stella, but this has got Wink of Stella on it. Of course it does, because you see me use it every week. Now, so I've just got my standard card base, which is 8¼ inches by 5½. I'm hoping that's right. It's looking a little long. Or am I just imagining it? Oh, it's perfect. See, sometimes your eyes play a little bit of tease you a little bit. Now, I've got another layer that is exactly the same as the final size of the card, which is 4 1/8 inches by 5½. Now, I've just noticed, and this is a good tip for you, that this doesn't line up. I haven't got that lining up perfectly, so I'm going to get those two corners correct. So all I have to do is like that, and then just use my bone folder and go from the edge in, and that will get that really nice score line or crease that I would like. So first thing I'm going to do is actually emboss this with that great embossing folder. So I'm going to, don't you like this? Throw it in here. You know me. I'm always throwing something somewhere. Well, something in the craft room. Hi, Glenda. How are you? Thank you, Glenda, for letting me know. Now, just need just grabbing my cut and emboss machine. Now, I always warn you is that when I cut and emboss with the larger machine, I always have trouble with it, and that's wholly and solely because I've hurt my arm and my wrist a fair bit. And yeah, so I've just put it in here. Wait a minute. There we go. And I want the label on top. That's just good practice to get used to being able to do that. Now, as I said, don't worry about it cracking and don't worry about me. Oh, that one went through. Well, not easy. It does take a bit, but it's just that my right arm is not very strong. Now, just get this out of the way. So all I've used is the embossing plate, right, which, as it says, do not cut on this. And I've used the base plate. Okay, so let's have a look at how this looks. Ooh, doesn't it look amazing? Love, love, love this. So it's very, very simple, this. I'm then just going to glue this down. I'm going to use some green glue. And then I just need to get rid of this, bring this over. Now, sometimes when you emboss a layer, even though it's cut exactly the same as the top of the card base, it will, because it's got so much embossing on it, it will change shape. So let's just put this back, line this up so there's no border on this. It is exactly the same size as my card base. That's work. Now I grab just I use my multi-purpose glue, which allows me to slide it around a little bit. I just use the bone folder and gently, because I don't want to get rid of that beautiful texture on here, gently make sure it glues down. Rightio. So now let's get, now this layer here, I've used the Everyday Arches dies, and I think I've been using these every week lately, which tells you how versatile they are. But they give you that really nice, interesting shape. They've got stitching around it, and you can see there's lots included. I know, so mine are a little messy, but that's okay. You can still find them. So now, so I'm going to not do too much to this. It's just a plain layer. But what it does is hide that plain section in here. So you never know it's actually a wreath. And this is how to make more out of your products, because you want to be able to use them lots of ways to get your money's worth. Then we're going to come down to this gorgeous image here, which comes from the Christmas Greenery stamp set. Remember, it hasn't been released yet. But if you're a demonstrator, you can actually order these, which is pretty good. And if you're not a demonstrator and you would like to get your products early, just sign up. Give me a call, let me know, send me a text if you've got any questions. And you can do it online, which makes it even easier. Now, it comes with dies, and I want to show you, there's a lot of dies here that aren't even, there's no stamp set actually for. So I love these big greenery. They're bold. Love, love, love. It's got this gorgeous bow. And I didn't use the gorgeous bow, but I could have. I kept it really simple because I wanted this to be a card that a beginner could do, or, like me, a seasoned stamper. Let's get rid of that. So I'm going to be using this image here. It's a two-step stamp, and you're going to see why Stampin' Up are so good at two-step stamping. Now, I'm missing a piece of cardstock here, so just wait a sec while I find a piece. No, I can't do that. Oh, actually, I can do that. I do. So here's my piece, because I'm going to die cut it, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to use some Memento Black. And I have re-inked. I've got it all over my fingers, but That happens fairly regularly, doesn't it? Does it happen to you? Hi, second Glenda. I've missed your contact somewhere, but you must be here. Righto. So I'm just going over this a few times because a new stamp, I have cleaned it with the stamping scrub to make sure. I'll just do that. Now, I need those dies. Where are those dies? Christmas Greenery. So now I'm going to use the Mini Cut and Emboss. So this is the right die. There's a couple of hints with this because what I did find, I could pull it out of the bin, but this die did move a little bit on me. That's because it's a long, skinny die. So I want to line it up 4 different places. All right, I'm going to bring my little magic machine that I really, really like. And so this is the Mini Cut and Emboss, which is a little cutie. Far easier for me to cut on, but I can only use small dies on it. So I'm using platform 1 and 2 platform 2s. I know. So wait a minute. Let's give myself a little bit of room. Now there is a hint. Whenever you're using the mini cut and emboss, you want to layer these back. So it's not a big thick sandwich going through. It can go whoop, 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 step it up. And that makes this really easy to use. So wait a minute. Now I could add some sticky, wait a minute, I need to put that in camera. Now I do want to show you this because there's always a hint of something on how to use these. I'm just looking for this. Yeah, so when I line this up, here we go, we've got it over here. And I'm lining it up under a camera, so it's a little more difficult. So I will line up 4 points, 1 at the top, 2, 1 each at the side, and then down the bottom. But there's this little hole. I'm doing this backwards now. There's this little hole here. I'll move this away, and it lines up with that stem. So you need to just keep that in mind because Stampin' Up! Do that quite a few times, especially with their leaf dies. So let's push this down. I'm going to just push this through. I'm not going to use this because I actually used a scrap piece of paper. Oops. I know. So, and not only that, my piece is just a bit wide. I've just got to cut this down. All right. So I'll just put this over here for a second. Put this here. I try and keep my plates straight. Because if you have them on too much of a bend, it is a little hard to line up. So I've got it lined up in my 4 places as best I can with a camera in front of it. And I think that's going to work. But I didn't then. No, I think that will. I've now got these stepped. Let's see how I go. I might have to step that back just a little bit. No, that's easy. You can see how much trouble I have with it. Most people don't have any trouble. It's just because of my arm. I don't. I'll pull this apart. And there's my gorgeous image. How easy was that? And I'll put this die away so I don't lose it. Because as you know, things walk on my craft desk. They walk on yours. All right. So I'll just put that clean up here, give myself a bit of room. Tidy up this. Hi-ho. So let's show you how, bring this back, how I got all that colour in. Because this is a 2-step stamp, so Stampin' Up! Have made it so easy for us. So I'll show you how I've added the colour. to those flowers. It's so simple. Now, I could colour this if I wanted to with blends or with our watercolour pencils or with our blender pens. There's lots of options, but Stampin' Up! Have made this super easy. And there's a bit of... And so I'm using Pool Party, and it's got a stamp that fills this in. Now, I wanted a little brighter than that, so I'm adding 2 coats to it. 2 coats, is that what you would say? 2 layers is better. You can see it really is easy with these photopolymer stamps to line up, and they're very forgiving. You don't have to be perfect. And that's what I like about how easy Stampin' Up! Makes this. Anyway, so how nice is that colour? I'll put the Pool Party away. And so I'm going to do the same with the leaves. I'm going to do 1 set in Old Olive. And of course, Stampin' Up! Have given me a leaf to do this. And it's easy to line up, especially without a camera. Is this, I've got the wrong colour? No, I've got the right colour. So there's 5 of these to stamp. This is a quick and easy way. As I said, if you colour them, and how I colour it still wouldn't take long. But this is still quicker. I think, well, is it more fun? I don't know. Depends on how you feel on the day, isn't it? So I'm then grabbing, that was Old Olive. I'm getting some Mossy Meadow. And this kind of adds a shadow to those little pine leaves. So easy. As I said, you don't have to be perfect. Basically, the stamp that Stampin' Up! Provides you gives you like a little guide. So that's why it's so easy. I'll show you what. Now, I've got the little bow to do. I've got real red for the bow. I know. And remember, there was a beautiful big die cut that I could have used instead. But I'm going to use this. And again, I want to line that up, top and bottom, side and side, to get it to match best I can. Oh yeah, there we go. Now, that out of the way, I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella. My Wink of Stella has walked. Oh no, there, I think it's here. You see me use this all the time. Who has Wink of Stella? Leave a comment. Let me know if you use it lots. Now, there's no art to applying Wink of Stella. Just make sure that you don't have to add, like you squeeze it to get a little bit more out. Don't squeeze it too hard, or otherwise truly it will come out all right. Come out everywhere. But it's still probably the easiest, quickest project. Now I'm going to do the bow as well. It's not an art of colouring. You're just going over, and if you miss bits, doesn't even matter. Adds that little bit more texture. Righto. How nice is that? Oh, now you can see the Wink of Stella. Most of the time on my camera you can't, but on that one you can. So let's put this together. So I'm going to pop this up using our dimensionals. And as I said, this is a card that a beginner can do, but I've really, really enjoyed it. So even for experienced stampers, they're going to enjoy this, a card similar to this. You can make whatever you like. And of course, I mean, with some of the sentiments of that, I've used some from an ephemera pack, which if you haven't guessed now, I absolutely love them. Mainly because you can add a different feature. Now, I could have embossed a sentiment for this, but I wanted to save time, and Christmas is a time to find some where you're always short of time. So I'm popping this up with dimensionals as well. Hi, Rose. Oh, hi. Welcome, Rose. From Central Victoria. So I'm expecting that it's a bit colder down there, but if you saw what I was wearing, I'm wearing my like an outdoor jacket. It's very chilly. It's wet and cold up here today. It's not normally like this. Yeah, so let's pop this over. So how gorgeous is that? And just having that stitching means you can pop it up. Now, you don't have the everyday arches. You can still make a gorgeous card. You could just cut out a rectangle like the size of that die, and let's make it easy for you. Where's my ruler? So you would cut out a rectangle that is like something around 4 7/8 by 2 5/8. Now I'm just going to write that down. 4 7/8 by 2 5/8. And then if I didn't have stitching around it, which makes this pop a little bit, I'd put another layer, either in the old olive, mossy meadow, or you could even use the pool party or red. But I would probably, as a choice, do either the red or the old olive or mossy meadow. Now, where are we up to? I need a gorgeous sentiment like this. Now, unless you're a demonstrator, you probably haven't seen the new. Oh, let's put a lid on this, because for those who watch me regularly, you'll know I will put my finger or my project in there. Have a look at these. Now, they're not stickers, but they are. I'm pretty sure they're not stickers. I should double check that. No, they're not stickers. But there's so many of these sentiments, so I don't know how many pieces has it got. Well, it's got 6 sheets, and it's got 2 of each design. So I've already used one here. Well, I'll use another one. So I wanted a long one. So let's just use another one. How nice are these? And that gold foil made this card drop. Otherwise, pop, not drop. Otherwise, it was going to be just a little plain. I was going to add a little gold foil strip, but this made it pop really quickly. In a minute, so I'm just using some mini dimensionals on here. And normally I'd use, sorry, let's put this so you can see me. I would use some, like a take a pick tool, or as I call it, my pokey tool. They've retired. Stamping Up doesn't do them, but they've replaced them with a take a pick tool. But somewhere in my craft caddy. So look at how much this then pops. So just do that. So now I think it looks fabulous. And it's such a simple card, but you can't have it empty on the inside. And I know I'm going to want a Christmas card here. Now I'm using a retired stamp set, and I'm using a retired one because it has this really nice sentiment on it. Now, of course, I'm looking for the stamp set that's on my desk, but I can't find it. I probably packed it up when I put all the new stamps away. But anyway, this one says, thinking of you at Christmas time. So it's a nice generic one. And let's stamp this here. Yeah. And then I'm also, because you can't have it too naked inside, so again, I'm going to add a little bit of this image. Pick it up well. not pressing hard, I'm just tapping. So it's a linen stamp set, a stamp pad. So that means you can press it just a little harder than you can with our foam ones. I know. So I don't want a lot of this image on here. I don't want it to get too confusing. So I'm just adding a little bit at the bottom, but it needs some colour. So I'm going to use one of our watercolour pencils. Might just let that dry just a bit for a second. Now I'll show you what I put on this one. So I just added a little bit of blue colour. So you'll see, I showcase how to colour quickly and easy. So all I'm doing is some little circles here in the shape of the petals. Now I do quick and easy because I'm not an artist, and some of you may be, and some of you won't be. So you'll see how easy it is for us to add colour. And I'm just grabbing one of our blender pens, which I have been showcasing lately, and I'm just going to blend it a little bit. And I like a little bit of texture here, so don't think this has to be perfectly blended. I'm just getting rid of some of those lines because it's like a colouring pencil. It's a bit hard to smooth out. So how good is that? I'm going to add some old olive to these leaves. I hope you're noticing how quick and easy I do this. I am not filling them in. I'm not colouring carefully. Just adding a touch of colour. Now, I've used that on the blue. So I just clean it up. And you can see with the blender pen, it activates that watercolour pencil. And then I've just got that little matching pop of colour on the inside. Hope the weather is good. Glenda's going whale watching tomorrow. How nice would that be if the weather's good? Certainly isn't very nice down here. Rightio, so there's the card. I'm hoping, and it's one of those cards that you can sit down, relax, do nice things. You're not stressing about anything. You can make as many or as few as you like, but it's a really nice card, and I can't wait to send that to somebody. And if it was me, I'd use that embossing folder, and I'm sure you've seen this. I'm not going to do it tonight. Oh, I'm looking for an envelope here. Perhaps I should have ordered some envelopes, I think. I'm running out here. Now, while I just show you what I'm going to be doing is, some scissors might help. Don't forget, at the last Sunday, kind of in every month, but in this month in particular, I've got a class. I'm going to be showcasing how to use that the extraordinary floral washi tape, and I'm going to also be showing how to make your own envelopes. Now I will be using our retired envelope maker or box maker, or I can't remember what it was called, but I'm actually going to show you how to make them even if you don't have that. So I would just put that through and you'd get a really nice pattern on the back as well. Or I could stamp something on it. So there's lots of different options. But that just dresses up your envelope because, you can't do naked envelopes. So that's it for this week. It's been another busy week. I am still in the mire of renos that have been a little challenging, but I'm hoping next week will be my last week of renos and I can get back to spending time doing what I love, which is crafting. Also, we've still got one special for this month, and that is the In Colours special. If you go to my online store, which the link is on this video, if you go into my shop, and you will actually be able to click on specials, go to In Colour, and you will see all the products on sale, including this fabulous product, which is really interesting. They counted this as an in colour or having in colours. So I was pretty excited by that and I ordered another one. So thank you, everybody. I'm so glad you have joined me. It was a pretty quick and easy project, but I wanted it to be because I wanted you to be able to start your Christmas cards off with something that is just fun to do, because it is kind of simple card making with a few layers just to step it up. And Stampin' Up have made it so easy. So don't forget, this was the Christmas Greenery Bundle. Comes out in 2 weeks' time and will be available from my online store. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to everybody who left a comment. Really does help me. It spreads the word a little further. And for everybody else who's joined us around Australia and also around the world. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.